Welcome to the Joy of Genealogy. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome. I noticed I had a few new subscribers, which I super appreciate. It has been a minute since I have posted on this channel. The reason for that being twofold. One, I had a lot of life stuff going on personally, not important. But two, I have been doing so much research, and I realized that I bit off more chapters than I could chew. So, if you've never watched another one of my videos, I highly encourage you to start from the beginning. If you're watching this video for the first time, you're kind of catching us in the middle of a series. That being said, this channel is dedicated to scripture. What I want to do is cover as much scripture as I possibly can. Today is absolutely no exception. It is my goal to cover all the passages that tend to get skipped. These are the passages of scripture that look like a bunch of names, they look like a bunch of places, and nobody really cares. I want to slow down. I want to process these chapters and make them make sense. I am not an expert, but I have been doing a lot of research. Today's video should have been Ephraim Part C. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I encourage you to go back and at least watch the video on covering the 12 tribes. Instead of doing Ephraim Part C, I've realized that in order to cover the tribes the way that I wanted to, I had to cover 5 books of the Bible, which I started to do. But then I realized, okay, need to slow down, need to take this in smaller pieces. So what I'm going to do today is Manasseh Part B. And what I'm probably going to do is Part A and B of most of the tribes, and then go back and cover the 12 tribes themselves. But today's video, at least, is going to be Manasseh, the genealogy. I've already covered Part A in my Ephraim video. So, Manasseh, Part B. That being said, this is not any easier than covering the 12 tribes. It's just less scripture. As you can see, we're going to cover a ton of passages. Don't let that intimidate you. They're all for reference. I have taken some liberties in studying these passages. I have done the very best that I could possibly do with the passages that I've been given. If I'm wrong, please feel free to leave a comment, but just know I'm going to explain why I've put the pieces where I have, because sometimes the scripture is a little ambiguous. That being said, if you want to follow along, send me an email at joyofgenealogy@yahoo.com, and I can email you the Excel document, and you can follow along and tweak it and do it however you want. So let's jump right in. Genesis 41, verse 51. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. Manasseh is the firstborn of Manasseh and Ephraim, but Ephraim was blessed over Manasseh, as we talked about in the last video. One cool thing about Ephraim and Manasseh as people is Genesis 50, verse 23. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the 3rd generation. The children also of Mashir, the son of Manasseh, were brought up upon Joseph's knee. So, for some of this genealogy, Joseph is alive, which is really cool. And I love that God was merciful enough to show him 3 generations out. The actual genealogy of Manasseh begins in 1 Chronicles, chapter 7, verses 14 through 19. Verse 14, the sons of Manasseh, Ashriel, whom she bare, but his concubine, the Aramites, bare Mashir, the father of Gilead. Okay, first problem, if you will, that we run into is, who is the she in this sentence? Best I can figure, the genealogy goes like this. Manasseh and the concubine, the Aramites, bear Ashriel. Also, they bear Mashir. Now, the audio Bible says maker, but I really like Mashir better. So I'm going to kind of go in between the two, Maker or Mashir. So Maker, Mashir, the father of Gilead. And Maker took to wife the sister of Upham and Shubham, who were mentioned earlier in the text, and we'll cover them at a later date. Verse 15, and Maker took to wife the sister of Upham and Shubham, whose sister's name was Maacah. I'm putting Maacah right here, and she is purple because she is female. So these two are married. Maacah is the sister of Upham and Shubham. And the name of the second was Zelophehad. Best I can figure, for now, I'm going to put Zelophehad right here. So Maker, father of Gilead, and Zelophehad. I'm going to move them in a little bit, spoiler alert, but for now, I'm going to put them right here because that's how the scripture reads. Verse 15, and Zelophehad had daughters. Now, why is that important? Because that is referenced in Numbers 26, verse 33, which we will talk about in just a minute. Verse 16, and Maacah, the wife of Mashir, bare a son, and she called his name Peresh. So put him over here. And the name of his brother was Sheresh. And his sons, whose sons, I'm going with Peresh's sons. Peresh's sons were Ulam and Rachel. Now, I usually annotate genealogical lines like this just to make it a little easier, so you can follow along with who is the son of whom. And the sons of Ulam, let me move Sheresh over here. Ulam, Rachel, and we'll keep going with the genealogical line of Ulam. Verse 17, and the sons of Ulam, Gideon. These are the sons of Gilead, the sons of Mashir, the son of Manasseh. Now, verse 18. Okay, so verse 18, a little bit confusing, but the best I can guess is the his in that sentence is Manasseh, and his sister, Moleketh. Now, I am not 100% sure whose sister it is making reference to. So I'm going to put this genealogical line over here, and I'll show you why in just a second. And his sister, Hamoleketh, bare Ishad, Abiezer, and Mahala. And then over here, I'm going to put verse 19. And the sons of Shemida were Ahiam and Shechem, Nikai, and Aniam. Okay, now let me explain a little bit about what I did here. Kind of throwing these two verses off to the side for a very specific reason. In my research, which is a lot more sophisticated than what I'm about to show you, but in my research, if you type in Moleketh, one verse, no other reference to this person, no other reference to Ishad, no other reference to Abiezer. In this particular context, there's Manasseh and the children of Abiezer, which I'll cover that passage in just a second. Abiezer gathered to him. There's the reference we have right here. So basically, of the Benjamites, I believe this is a different Abiezer. So for now, best reference I can give you talks about the children of Abiezer of Manasseh in Joshua 17. And also First Chronicles 7:18, which is where we're at. That's Abiezer. Mahlah. One reference to this person. First Chronicles. Shemida. One reference. First Chronicles. Behayan. First Chronicles. One reference. Shechem, you're going to get probably more references, especially if I can spell it correctly. Shechem, because Shechem is a place. So, city of Shechem, Shechem's father, different Shechem, not the same one. Akai, one reference. And Enaim, one reference. So, bear with me in that I put them over to the side. I think, best I can gather, these are in there to verify and sort of solidify the genealogical line. One chapter in the entire Bible. Not to say it's not important, but for now, I'm throwing them off to the side. So going back to the genealogical line of Manasseh, I want to talk specifically about Zelophehad. So Zelophehad is found in a bunch of different places. This is Joshua 17, where we saw that reference to Abiezer. These are the people groups for the children of Shechem, for the children of Hefer, for the children of Shemida. This is talking about the biblical land and how it was divided among the children of Manasseh. When I talk about the tribe of Manasseh, I might get into that, but it gets a little bit confusing when you start mixing in places and people. And again, I need to tease that out a little bit more. So I'm going to jump down to verse 3. But Zelophehad, the son of Hefer, the son of Gilead. So what I think actually happens is you have Gilead, Hefer, then you got Zelophehad. Right here. Putting him in two different spots, and I'm not entirely sure which one is more accurate, but I think based on the text, this text in particular, Hefer goes between Gilead and Zelophehad, and Zelophehad is actually the son of Hefer, the son of Gilead. So instead of being the brother of Gilead, I believe he's actually the grandson of Gilead. Jumping into verse 3, Zelophehad had no sons but daughters. These are the names of the daughters: Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, Tirzah. Okay. Because the daughters of Manasseh had an inheritance among his son, and the rest of Manasseh's sons had the land of Gilead. So it becomes kind of an issue that Zelophehad doesn't have male biological heirs. And that gets addressed in Numbers 26. They're referenced here in Numbers 26, verse 33. We were just in Joshua chapter 17, verse 3. Numbers 26, 33. And specifically the story of the daughters of Zelophehad is in Numbers 36, which I'm going to read to you. Just a reference here, just worth noting. Joshua 17:3 talks about the daughters of Zelophehad. Numbers 26, verse 33 also talks about the daughters of Zelophehad. But Numbers 36 is the chapter on the daughters. So bear with me as I read with you. And the chief fathers of the families of the children of Gilead, the son of Mashir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of the sons of Joseph, came near and spake before Moses and before the princes, the chief fathers of the children of Israel. And they said, the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land for an inheritance by lot to the children of Israel. My Lord was commanded by the Lord to give the inheritance of Zelophehad our brother unto his daughters. So that happened in Numbers 26. And if they be married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the children of Israel, then shall their inheritance be taken from the inheritance of our fathers, and shall be put to the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. So shall it be taken from the lot of our inheritance. So basically, what the children of Manasseh are worried about is if their daughters, the daughters of Zelophehad, are married out, their inheritance is going to go to the tribe that they're married into. So basically, the tribe of Manasseh is going to get even smaller. Verse 4, and when the Jubilee of the children of Israel shall be, then shall their inheritance be unto the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received, so shall their inheritance be taken away from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers. And Moses commanded the children of Israel according to the word of the Lord, saying, the tribe of the sons of Joseph hath said well. This is the thing which the Lord doth command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them marry to whom they think best. Only to the family of the tribe of their fathers shall they marry. So shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel remove from tribe to tribe. For every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. And every daughter that possesseth an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be wife unto one of the family of the tribe of her father, that the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his fathers. Neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another tribe, but every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself to his own inheritance. Even as the Lord commanded Moses, so did the daughters of Zelophehad. For Mahlah, Tirzah, and Hoglah, and Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, were married unto their father's brothers' sons. And they were married into the families of the sons of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in the tribe of the family of their father. These are the commandments and the judgments which the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses unto the children of Israel in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho. So if you were following along, Numbers 36 is entirely about the daughters of Zelophehad and their inheritance. And basically, Moses commanded that the inheritance would stay among the family of Manasseh. Manasseh is also, I will talk about this later, referred to as a half tribe. So basically, there's 12 tribes because Joseph has kind of two half tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh. It is one of the smallest tribes. So that is Numbers 36. Jumping ahead a little bit to a little bit more genealogy, there's one more genealogical line that I want to talk about. Okay, I want to get into the genealogical lines one more time with the children of Manasseh. This chapter is particularly confusing. So bear with me as I try to make the most grammatical sense that I can make of it in order to make a genealogical line. We are talking about first the line of Judah. For just a second, haven't covered the line of Judah. I will probably cover it last because it is the line of the tribe of Judah. It is the line of Christ, and that's really where I want to end the 12 tribes. So for now, we're just going to hit on the high points to make this point. Sons of Judah, Pharez. He has two sons, Pharez and Zara. He has 5 sons total, but these are twins. Pharez has Hezron. That's all you need to know. Jumping down to verse 18, Caleb, the son of Hezron, begot children. This is also in the line of Judah. This is a different Caleb than the one mentioned with Joshua. You have Hezron begot children here. So Hezron is in the line of Judah. Afterwards, Hezron, same person, best I can tell, went into the daughter of Mashir. So, best I can tell, this is still in the genealogical lines because I'm pretty sure this is still the same Mashir maker from the children of Manasseh. So it looks like Maker has a daughter who marries Hezron of the tribe of Judah. I'll make her purple because she's female. Now, in this line, verse 21, and Hezron went into the daughter of Mashir, the father of Gilead. So, pretty good indication this is the same person, whom he married when he was 80 years old, and she was Jair, who had 23 cities in the land of Gilead. After that, Hezron was dead, and basically it goes into another genealogical line. So, best I can tell, verses 1 Chronicles chapter 2, verses 21, 22, cover this genealogical line. So I know that the line looks a little bit confusing and moves a lot of that over because I don't really think he belongs here as it reads in the initial chapter. I put this one next to Gilead because I'm pretty sure that's his sister. This is the absolute best I can do with this genealogical line. One of the purposes of doing this entire YouTube channel is if you decide that you don't care about the genealogical lines, I understand they're confusing. However, to eliminate genealogical lines from your study is to eliminate entire chapters of the Bible. And to glance at them as opposed to studying them is to completely miss that there's some really intricate and confusing parts. So in order to tease it out, you kind of got to dive head first. And some of this is grammatically confusing, and some of it is just the way that they spoke. So this is the best I can do with the information that I have. Now, a couple more things that I want to point out really fast. The line of Manasseh has the entire people known as the Gileadites. And the Gileadites are very important in the book of Judges. So I want to point out a couple important Gileadite people. Jair. Haven't studied too much, not entirely sure if this is the same Jair as this one, but he is a Gileadite. And he, I believe, is one of the judges. He judged 23 years and died, was buried in Shamir. And after him arose Jair, a Gileadite, and judged Israel 22 years. So this is one of the judges in the book of Judges. And that's Judges chapter 10. There's a Gileadite. Judges chapter 11. I was originally going to read this chapter as part of the genealogical study. However, it gets really confusing. So just to hit the highlights, Judges chapter 11, verse 1. Now Jephthah, the Gileadite, was a mighty man of valor. He's a Gileadite, so he's in the line of Manasseh. And he was the son of a harlot. And Gilead begat Jephthah. And Gilead's wife bare him sons. And his wife's sons grew up, and they thrust out Japheth and said unto him, Thou shalt not inherit in our father's house, for thou art the son of a strange woman. Story goes on from there, but basically Jephthah is also one of the judges mentioned in the book of Judges. Lastly, Judges chapter 6, verse 15. And he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. I played the pronoun game with you guys, just letting you know who is the he in the story. Gideon. So, Judges chapter 6, another famous member of the tribe of Manasseh, Gideon, who gets his own story, and it's a really fantastic story, and I highly recommend you go read it. Also highly recommend you go read Judges 11, but do so with caution, because quite frankly, I have yet to do some more research on that chapter myself. It's confusing. But herein lies what I can gather of the genealogical line of Manasseh. For my next video, I will probably tackle an entirely different son of Israel, but I'm not 100% sure. So bear with me if my videos are a little out of order, but I will cover everything, and I will cover everything as thoroughly and as accurately as I possibly can. So it takes time, but if you have thoughts, if you have ideas, if I missed something, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.